I'm in a good mood tonight. I mean, it's a Saturday night, November the 19th. We're slowly approaching the 12 a.m. hour, moving from Saturday night, the 19th, to Sunday morning, the 20th. It's just me and you here, just my voice, your beautiful, generous, giving ears, okay? Now, let's get this straight. This is not a sports podcast in any way, shape, or form, but that date, that switch from 19th to the 20th, from Saturday to Sunday, is very important this time because the New England Patriots are hosting the New York Jets in what probably most football fans will agree is just a great matchup, has a lot of playoff implications, a lot of reputations on the line. I'm looking very forward to it. I will most certainly be on my couch all Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, just eating Wingstop until I start internally bleeding, okay? Wingstop is so amazing. I love everything about Wingstop, okay? And I'll probably be doing all flats, all well done, half original hot, half lemon pepper, maybe throw in a couple Bayou barbecues just to shock the system a little bit, a little spicy spice, okay? Now, when it comes to fast food in general, I'm an expert. I mean, if there was a college major, if you could major in fast food, not only would I have done that, I would be a professor teaching 400-level classes in the expertise of fast casual and fast food. Okay, my AIM screen name back in like 2004 was literally XX Fast in all caps, XX Casual in all caps, XX Zaddy 95. Okay, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about my passion for fast food. And don't mistake that for poor choice in food in general, because they are way different, okay? You can have good taste in food and also like the addicting chemicals that exist in fast food that keep you coming back, okay? My expertise, like I said, fast casual, also probably Taco Bell. But the reason I'm bringing any of this up, bringing all this up, is because Barstool a couple days ago posted this egregiously horrible chart where they basically assign dollar amounts to all these different fast food items from different restaurants, and they give you a budget of like $20, and you got to pick from each category. I'll put it up right here because, listen, I'm a good editor now. I'll be able to put it up right here. At this point, you should be looking at it. It's right here, right here. So anyway, let's get this started with this. I don't want to hear anyone tell me that In-N-Out is good. I've had it now 3 times or 4 times. It is not good. It is a subpar burger. Yes, it's cheap, which is its only redeeming quality. The fries are a pathetic excuse for fries. Their big thing is animal style, which I love Russian dressing, and newsflash, it doesn't taste like Russian dressing. It has no taste. I mean, I just don't like In-N-Out whatsoever. The fact that on this list it's a $4 burger is a complete joke. I mean, whoever made this list as a whole has never eaten fast food before, okay? There's Culver's on here, never heard of it. They have Whataburger. What is there, like 8 Whataburgers in America? I mean, the person who made this list lives in New Mexico, I think. Like, I don't get it. So I'm looking down this list, and I started to get more and more mad. The In-N-Out burger ticked me off at first. It really set me off. But then I looked down further, 2 more notches further. The Crunchwrap Supreme is the $5 specialty from Taco Bell. And the better specialty from Taco Bell is not even on the list. And that's what I'll get to right now. So if you've been alive in the last 10 years, if you have a fucking pulse in the last 10 years and you live in America, okay, everyone knows the cheesy Gordita Crunch is the specialty at Taco Bell. It is not, and it is no longer, the Crunchwrap Supreme. Not to say the Crunchwrap Supreme isn't good, because it is good, but it is a secondary treat to the main course, which is the cheesy Gordita Crunch. If you're smart, you put the Doritos Locos Taco in the cheesy Gordita Crunch. The point is, you're going to tell me you're putting a $5 price on a second-rate specialty in the same restaurant. Joke, okay? Now, there's not even a Whopper anywhere to be found on this list, okay? People talk a lot of shit about Burger King. I don't want to hear it. The Whopper, I don't really know about the rest of the menu, like too much in terms of how quality everything is. The Whopper it has that flame-grilled taste. It has a nice mixing, a nice dancing of mayo, ketchup, turns orange, but it's not Russian. Crinkle-cut pickles, thick. Nice bun. I mean, it's just a good fast food burger. Nowhere to be found, and they have, no bullshit, the Burger King Yumbo. No one's even heard of the Burger King Yumbo before. I don't understand what. So you have these sandwiches no one's heard of. You got fucking 3 Arby's things on here. Again, this person lives in West Virginia who made this menu. It's just unreal. Which brings me to my next point, which is actually has nothing to do with my next point, but the bottom line is with fast food is that I'm thinking about this as well. McDonald's, I do like it. I think it's way overpriced. Every time I've ever been there, it's like, yeah, I want a burger, a fry, maybe a drink, and like one other little fucking like smaller thing, and it's like $18, but they do get the desserts right, and that's what's on here. The apple pie is phenomenal. You get it in the box with the little fucking circle cutouts in there. Brings me back to my childhood. Their ice cream game, they must be like sprinkling crack in the ice cream. It is the best tasting ice cream, whether it's the McFlurry or the soft serve. Hey, listen, not anymore, but in my old job, you could catch me after I was done swerving into the fucking McDonald's drive-thru and just getting a soft serve cone. Why not? It's just a great little treat, $1, not many calories, incredible. So the McDonald's dessert game, you got the hot cookies, you got fresh baked cookies there. You might be able to dip those in the McFlurry. You got they make a cinnamon bun in a cardboard box. I mean, you can't beat the McDonald's desserts. Another dessert that's not on there, and I don't even think it exists anymore, but I'll mention it because it was good. In Burger King, and I don't want it to seem like I'm this big Burger King guy, because I'm not, but I remember when I was a kid, they used to have these like Hershey's like pie slices that were like ice cream chocolate pie. Incredible. Another thing that didn't get as much love as it should have is Wendy's. Wendy's is such a you-know-what-you're-getting quality fast food establishment, right? The spicy nuggets, great. Any burger from there, great. The dollar menu, or whatever you want to call it, like the value menu, Junior Bacon Cheeseburger Deluxe, you got you got just a bunch of that different stuff. Then you got the crispy chicken sandwich on that value menu. You got the spicy crispy chicken sandwich, which is like the non-dollar menu one. That's amazing. Before Chick-fil-A existed in the East Coast, I was all over that all the time. Wendy's is great. And now let's switch quickly to fast casual, because and let me just end this off with this. It's a joke of a list. So now let's get to fast casual. A lot of issues in the fast casual game. I think it went up a little too quickly. Everyone kind of overexpanded, and then it got shitty. Number one case was Chipotle. Chipotle in 2011, 12, 13, you walk into a Chipotle, you get a head high. You had to fucking take a knee and put your hand on a fucking steel and wood Chipotle table. You were knocking over Chipotle Tabasco sauces because you had a head high for how excited you were to eat that Chipotle. You're getting a double chicken bowl for like $12. The chicken is fresh and nice. All the fucking toppings. The bowl is loaded up. It's calorie dense, but it's quality. A lot of protein. Chips and guac. I mean, the works. The absolute works, okay? Fast forward. It's fucking dog food now. It's literally dog food. It's like it's just slop. They like the girls in the back wiping her ass with the chicken. Fucking the guac's brown. They're scooping off the brown shit off the guac. I don't want to step foot in that place anymore. It's disgusting. The chips are stale. I'm trying to break the fucking chip off. It's like fucking bending. Chipotle, I don't know what happened to it. It is a real tragedy, a real travesty, because it was the spot. Now, a lot of iterations have come in the future. In the last decade, you have Moe's, which is okay, kind of like too fast foody for me. Then you have like Qdoba, which is even just like a shittier iteration of Moe's. And then you have like the same format that's not Mexican food, or like whatever you want to call it, like Tex-Mex, which is the Mediterranean side of things. Cava was great for a minute. It's kind of fallen off a little bit. I do like Cava. Naya is another good one. I think it's Lebanese. Very, very good. But I have nothing bad to say about Naya or Cava, honestly. I really don't. But let's get to the other fall off, which is, I got two more. The first is Chopped. Okay, I used to go to Chopped when I worked in the city, and this is internships, like in 2013, 14, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I had it like a couple months ago. It like maybe it could have been the location, but like just everything was not as quality as it used to be. And this isn't me like romanticizing about it. This is just me being objectively like looking at what I'm eating and saying this is not good. Like, and it used to be good. And the last one, which really is close and dear to my heart, is Shake Shack. So Shake Shack used to be the gold standard. You didn't mind paying extra. Because you didn't mind paying an insane amount, honestly, for their food because it was that good and it was that unique, okay? You used to be able to get a double Smoke Shack, which is a double cheeseburger, okay? Then you got the Shack sauce, you got bacon, you got cherry peppers diced up so it's spicy, and then lastly, they used to put fried, like, shallots or onions on it, on the Martin's potato bread bun, okay? They did away with the onions. They start making all these specialties. Newsflash as well, the shakes were never good from there. I don't understand. How do you name your business Shake Shack when your shake that you're handing me every time is like a half-melted scoop of ice cream? Horrible. But Shake Shack was great. The fries were good. Everything was good. It's just, I can't even put my finger on what it is. It's just not as good. The quality has gotten shittier. I like the Chicken Shack, for example. I used to think it was better than Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Not even close anymore. Sometimes I get these sandwiches. It's like a little fucking. It's like this big. They're charging me like $9 for a fucking chicken sandwich. It's insane. The one fast casual restaurant that I will put my fucking reputation on the line for, that has been consistent from the jump, from the moment I had it in like 7th grade up until like last week, in locations in all different states and countries. So you guessed it, it's Five Guys. Five Guys, you know what you're getting. You step in there, you got those weird signs about like some weird town in like the state of Washington and like Idaho, like gave them an award. We don't really know what that's about. You got the malt vinegar that no one's eating with the peanuts, but the burger is just good. It's just a good burger. It's big. It's a little bit of filling. It's a little bit of the actual patties. The fries are not even. They are the best fries. They're giving you a million fries. Now that the last couple of years, they've gotten into the shake game. The shakes are very good. Five Guys, they have just done it right. They know their brand, and they do it right. And that's really the last and only thing I'll say about really Five Guys, but just about fast casual in general. I've tried them all. I've tried the Burger Fies, the Zim Burgers, the Bobby's Burger Palace was pretty fucking good. I don't know what happened to those. But all of them. Five Guys, most consistent. I walk into a Five Guys in Germany, in Australia, in New York, in Tijuana. I know what I'm getting. That's the bottom line. So that's the end of my rant on fast food in general. I can go into more detail, but I don't want to bore everyone with all my weird obsessions with these fast food things. And quite frankly, fast food is the reason probably why I yo-yo a lot in my diet and I get out of shape and I get back into shape, because when I'm eating fast food, it's like an addiction. It's like an actual addiction where I'm eating it all the time because I love it. Like I'm eating regular my food, and then I'll just be like, fuck it, it's 10 p.m. Let me get a $5 box, cheesy gordita crunch with soft taco, cinnamon twists. Then I'll get a Crunchwrap Supreme, and then I'll get a fucking Baja. It gets out of control. But excuse me, love fast food. The Barstool list is egregious. Okay, next subject. I'll tell you about what I did Thursday. So basically, we had the band that I play with. We had a show on Thursday night, and it was like for an emo like punk rock tour. But we don't play that type of music at all. We play like kind of like indie or like alternative. It's kind of hard to put my finger on what we play specifically. But either way, we're like, yeah, fuck yeah, we'll do it. So we show up to the venue, and I didn't really know what to expect. It was about 6 bands in this whole thing. We were the first band to go on. And so the second we get there, I mean, these people are, and nothing wrong with them. They're a lot of talent there. They're really cool, but they're like living in 2007 still. Like they still dress the way I remember the kids in middle school when I was in middle school, and that was popular. The way those kids dressed, like with the DC shoes and the fucking like gray acid wash jeans and like the weird like knit sweaters. The lead singer of one of the bands, no bullshit, had like black hair that was clearly like bleached, and it was like down to his shoulders, but he did like a bowl cut in the front and then took the hair, he like artificially straightened it and like put it across his face like he was like an anime character, like he was in Dragon Ball Z, which was wild to see. And he kept like moving in like weird anime ways, like it was just weird. And they love stickers. These emo people, they love stickers. The second we pulled up to the venue, we had to like unload our stuff into the backstage. Nothing that bar or club or whatever you want to call it, that venue owns, is not covered in stickers. Like the gate, the fence, the fucking walls. I had to take a piss early on in the show. It was one of those bathrooms where like the second you open the door, the toilet's right there. Every square centimeter was just band stickers and then like Sharpie over it, like fuck me, like just weird shit, just like weird stuff. Like someone would write in like red, like blood, like just weird. And then it's just like stickers everywhere, lining the toilets, like who is putting a sticker of their band's name in the inside of a toilet? Like the mirror to the fucking whatever you want to call it in the bathroom is stickered up. Like, so that grossed me out off the rip. Then after we're done, I thought we played a good set. After we're done, the first band goes on. I didn't know what to expect, and I think it's important to kind of, not just get out of your comfort zone in general, but it was cool to be around these bands that I would never normally be around, or see like the environment of the fans who see and go to see these bands, what it is. And so it was really cool to see. But like the first band that goes on, don't get me wrong, they were talented for sure, but they're doing the screaming shit, and like it wasn't like packed at this point. So, like, I'm, like, looking behind me and stuff. Like, this is, like, the music I feel like I'm going to get stabbed to. Like, it was just, like, a lot of people are, like, scary looking, like, whatever. So, that goes down. And my thing that I was doing, because it was honestly, I thought it was pretty funny and it was fun. Like, we were guessing. I was going around to my boys and like basically trying to see how old we thought everyone was, and then like what I would do after. So the big thing is when like a band's done playing and you've played and you both watched each other play, you like go up to them kind of and you're just like, dude, you fucking killed. It's like just ass kissing, just like fake it. It's like, dude, you fucking were awesome, bro. How long you been fucking playing the bass for, dude? Like shit like that. So what I would do is I would do that, but meander around to get their age. I'd be like, yo, like how long you been playing bass for? And they'd be like, I don't know, 10 years. I'd be like, oh, so you were like 10 when you started? And they'd be like, no, I'm actually 33. And I'd be like, fuck, I said he was 28. Now I owe blah, blah, blah money. So anyway, so now we're in the back of like the venue, and we're kind of hanging out, and the band that had just been on comes through, and this kid, I don't want to pick on him, but the bassist to one of these bands was like small guy. It was probably like 5'5", 5'6", and funny-looking guy. And off the bat, bad start. We were basically, all of us were kind of swapping merch. Like the band I play with has some, they have like T-shirts and stuff with the name on it. So we would give it to like the other bands, and they would wear it. Blah 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 blah. So this kid, very small guy, one of the guys in my band, who watches this. So John, if you're listening to this, what's up, baby? He doesn't give him. He goes up to him and is like, hey man, like I'm so sorry. Like I wanted to give you this T-shirt, but unfortunately, we only have like mediums, larges, and extra larges. Like just basically telling this kid he's like fucking like Frodo Baggins. Like, so that was already a bad start. And then I go up to this kid because I have a wager on how old he is. So I'm thinking he's like in his early 30s, and someone thought he was like in his. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you. But anyway, I go up to this kid with my other boy, and I go like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, you fucking killed it on bass, bro. He was a bassist. I was like, you fucking killed it, dude. Like, how long you been playing for? Trying to get this out of him. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, I started off playing cello when I was in, like, middle school. So I was like, oh, no way. Is that four-string? And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's the one, he's like, you sit for? And I was like, oh, like, that's the one you sit on? Like, make it, like, it was a funny fucking joke. I was making a fucking joke where he sits on his cello. Like, whatever. And he just, like, didn't get it. Like, it just went over his head. And then, like, after I, like, was like, oh, no, I'm just playing, man. He was like, oh, like a sex joke. And then, like, it was just really awkward. Then we got this other kid coming up to us who wasn't in any of the bands. And, I mean, granted, very nice guy also. But, like, he just comes up to us and he's like, hey, how you guys doing? Like, I wanted to talk to you guys, blah, blah, blah. So we're like, oh, what's up, man? And I was, like, trying to start a conversation. I was like, hey, man, like, how long you, like, are you a local guy? Like, where are you coming from? And he goes, dude, it was like 6 hours to get here, bro. And everyone, including me, started laughing. We thought like he was fucking with us because he's at a venue with like less than 100 people, less than 50 people in the crowd in like a local part of Long Island. And no, he wasn't lying. He literally drove from like upstate New York to see this show. So like between that, a lot of weird like PDA in the crowd, just a very unique experience. But I will say there was one band we saw. You can look them up. They're called 408. The drummer and their studio stuff is not the same in terms of their drums are more like electric on like their recorded music. But dude, the drummer for this band was fucking incredible. Really, one of the better drummers I've ever seen live. Like that's like not a legend. Like I've seen Taylor Hawkins live. I've seen a bunch of like huge big Chad Smith live, but. Yeah, incredible stuff. So that was my time at the gathering of the emos, and it was a really good time. But just crazy, bro, crazy. All right, so now that we're on the topic of music, quickly, I'll say that I think music is, and this is obvious, but it's overwhelmingly nostalgic in a way that is almost indescribable. And there's two different ways I mean this. I mean, the first is the obvious one, which is period of your life you were obsessed with an album, for example, or a time in your life where a certain album came out, or a song you loved, you listened to a lot, things were happening in your life, and now when you listen to that song years later, maybe even decades later, you're brought right back there. I mean, it's crazy. You can smell the smells of where you were. You can feel the things. It's nostalgia is crazy in that regard. And on the flip side, it also can make you nostalgic for things you never even experienced in the first place. I mean, listening to maybe 80s wave, it brings you back to maybe being in like a warehouse strobe-lit concert of like, I don't know, like the Smiths, right? And it's just a lot of like craziness and experiences you've never had. And then maybe in the 70s, you're thinking about listening to the Doors. And when you listen to them, you think about that crazy romanticizing this time of this hippie culture. And maybe it's also like the photography, the way like the quality of the video wasn't as good. It has a different taste to it, a different feel to it. And I mean, some of my most prominent ones are when I was a child, and I mean, I could go on for days. I don't want to get crazy here, but it's an overwhelmingly emotional thing. It's almost like an uncomfortable feeling when you hear something, because you don't want to almost waste it. I feel like when I hear a song that means a lot to me, that reminds me of something, I kind of don't want to listen to it because I can check that feeling and I go, okay, I know that feeling exists, but I don't want to almost burn it out where now I'm creating a new overlapped embedded memory of like what I'm doing now. So for example, I'll give you one quick example. I know this is and I want to make this clear. Like I love so much different and diverse music. I would really recommend you take a listen to my Spotify in general, because I mean it's from my library that's been cultivated since I've been in 4th grade, and it's very, like I said, genre diverse. It's probably everything from the 50s, from blues, soul, fucking like doo-wop, all the way through until today, and I have all of that music chronicled in chronological order, in playlists, in decades, in genres, in all types of stuff, in moments of my life, all this crazy stuff. I'm a nutcase with music. But specifically, I'll talk about one. I know it's basic, but I think Drake is the artist of our generation. He's someone who, first of all, is bridging the gap between generations, which is pretty insane to me. I literally grew up listening to Drake from in middle school, Comeback Season, and So Far Gone, all the way through. I'll never forget the first time I heard Best I Ever Had. I was in my mom's like Jeep Cherokee. Like, it's just like everything about his career. He's followed me throughout my whole life, and I mean, objectively is one of the biggest stars ever in terms of album sales and record sales and just stardom in general. And the different types of songs he can make, and say what you want about him not writing his music or him not really having a great live voice. He is a visionary. He has a lot of great people behind him. Whatever. Bottom line is, Nothing Was the Same is a really special album to me. That came out in the early fall of my freshman year of college at Penn State, and Penn State is a weird thing also to think about for me because it was such a special time in my life, and I loved everything about it so much. And what's crazy, what I'm going to get to now, is that a lot of the songs from Nothing Was the Same are like some of my favorite songs of all time. And like Tuscan Leather, for example, one of the better intros I've ever heard in a rap album ever. And I can name a few more, but when I hear that song, I literally can smell the leaves and like I could see the walks to campus when I was a freshman. I didn't really know where I was going. I can see the dorms of when I was a freshman, and I can remember the people that I haven't kept in touch with in forever that I lived with when I was a freshman. And those types of feelings, they make me almost not want to listen to those songs, not because I don't want to or I don't like them, but because I don't want to listen to those songs again. And now in 2022, I create like new memories about that song, or like beat that song to shit. Everyone has the I'm sure everyone who listens to music has that kind of issue where when you really love a song, you just listen to it so much where then you ruin it, unfortunately. And no matter what you do, maybe you can come back to it in years, but it's usually beat to shit, right? I mean, one of the songs for me that I just beat to so much. I mean, I just killed it. Was I listened to what's called "Stealing Happy Hours" off the album Transistor, 1997, by the band 311. 311 has some like up and down views about it, but either way, that is such an incredible song. I listened to that song thousands of times. It was my favorite song for so long that like it is now just a flat line to me, and it's a shame. I don't even really have any overwhelming thoughts about where I was or this or that about it, because it's like I've listened to it so much at so many different times in my life. But there's other albums that I pull from that I think I can feel and see and smell and all the things I was doing at the moments that I listened to the album the most. So I think nostalgia is very important. And to piggyback off of that, I think that there's this weird like obsession and romanticism of nostalgia in a negative way. And I'll give you one example. I'm seeing ads on Instagram now for like these cameras that take like shitty low-res photos that look like it's like taken from like 1993. The reason why the photos in 1993 look like that is because the tech wasn't up to the standard of today. So it's great, and I have an appreciation for flipping through albums of photo albums of me as a child in 1997 maybe, or like when I was a kid, and we'd have like videotapes of going to Disney World or Christmas or parties or this or that. But the fact of the matter is, grow up. We're not living in 1998 anymore. You don't need to take a low-res picture or a Polaroid picture at the club you're at in the Jersey Shore in 2022. It's just stupid, and it just kind of almost, the reason why I get a little mad about it is because I think it takes away from why the originator is special. The reason why it is special to see you in your kitchen playing with the dog that passed away 15 years ago, and there's the little orange number of the date in the right corner, and it's kind of shitty, and everyone's like really sounds a little fuzzy, is because that was a special time, and that was that time. That doesn't exist anymore. I don't think people would have the same view of the 70s if we had 4K iPhones in our pockets in the 1970s when Jimi Hendrix was playing, right? Or like the Beatles were on the rooftop. I mean, they just wouldn't have been the same. So that whole like new fad with this fucking nostalgia shit is annoying me, to be quite frank. And I know I ranted for quite some time about this, but it's just how I feel. So I would hope that, actually, I take that back. I am starting a GoFundMe for anyone who wants to donate. We are going to take down successfully any company that is making and producing and selling to the public any type of nostalgia porn, which is fucking CD, cassette players, Walkmans. Like, you're gonna walk around with a fucking Walkman now, like it's 2003. My first album ever that was burned for me was by my friend Matt Sirianni in, I think, first grade, and it was Nellyville. Unreal. Or no, it was Country Grammar. I take it back, Country Grammar. But anyway, yeah. You don't need to be walking around with this fucking camera that doesn't even fit in your pocket, that takes a 2-megapixel photo. Okay, it's 2022. Grow up. And that's all I got to say about nostalgia. You know, when you type in OMW and maybe like you don't know someone that well and you're linking up with them or whatever, and then you just shoot them a quick like on my way OMW, and you didn't even look at your phone. The next thing you do, you look down and it's on space my space way exclamation point. That can be a relationship ruiner. That can be a friendship ruiner without it even having a start, right? You could be not really knowing someone. You go, yeah, I'll be on my way in 5 minutes. On my way. Between that and the we're changing to we are, contraction WE''RE. Where are the engineers at Apple? Where are they when we need them? I mean, they're trying to like put another megapixel in the camera that no one even needs. Fix the autocorrect. I'm getting tired of it. I mean, it's good for most of it, but I don't want to just be getting smoked by all. Again, then and then is getting autocorrected. I mean, fuck and duck. Like, after the 8th time of me saying it, I don't want to write ducking anymore. It's fucking. Like, I'm sorry, it is. That's not a bad thing. People use that word. It's a normal word. I don't even know if it's in the dictionary. I would assume it is. Please, Apple, this is a direct, like, I'm trying to speak to you. JohnnyCast to Apple in Cupertino, California. Please, change the autocorrect for us all. Please. I'll also talk about, you want to talk about a conspiracy theory. I have a weird conspiracy theory about, and I don't want to make this a weekly segment on this show where I talk about, like, basic girl things because they annoy me. I don't want to do that, but I got to mention this one. I mentioned the iced tea with the mason jar last week. I didn't even mention the Nike Dunks black and white that everyone wears now, which is the new, like, Fila Dino Stompers of, like, 7 years ago. I'm not going to discuss that, but what I will discuss, every girl has the same book now. They all have the same looking book. It's not the same exact book. Everyone now has to show off they're at the beach with their novel. Everyone's reading this novel, and all the covers are the same. It's not even the same author. Stephen King, for Christ's sake, is making these novels with the same fucking cover. It's just, and I'll put them here. I'll give you 4 examples. I can pick from a billion. I'll give you 4 examples. It's like a fucking, like a bright, first of all, it's a tall book. It's not a regular sized book anymore. They're making the books bigger. I don't know why that is. Maybe people like see big things and they want, who knows. All the books are like a blue book with like big, like minimal yellow letters, and then the author on the bottom. It's the same book everywhere. And originally, I thought it was one author that was like killing the game, and then he or she was just selling a billion books to these girls. No, it's just every book that Barnes & Noble or Amazon or anywhere else sells. now has the same cover. I want to know the marketing reasons for this because it has to be sinister. There's got to be something behind there because there can't be a good reason for every book to have the same cover. Can't be. So that's my basic go around for the day as well. And let's wrap up with the last thing because I was talking about this with my friend before. When I was a kid, I had a couple of irrational fears, but there was one irrational fear that trumped the rest of them. And it was a irrational fear that I still have to this day. I thought, like, when I was a kid, I would always say, like, oh, yeah, when I'm an adult, nah. Is Michael Jackson's face. I mean, when you take his face and you couple it with his voice, like, post-2001, one of the deepest and darkest things you can ever imagine. I mean, it's nightmare fuel. I am a grown man, I like to think now. I am just as scared of it now as I was when I was like 7 years old. And I guarantee you many people who are going to watch this are going to agree with me. If I'm going into a basement or something and it's not the most welcoming environment, I'm genuinely getting what I need to get and then sprinting out of there for no other reason than I literally, for some reason, think Michael Jackson's down there. Like, if there was a YouTube, like, okay, it's after 9 p.m. and I'm watching YouTube and, like, I don't have, for some reason, like, my back against the wall. If there is, God forbid, a thumbnail of, like, his mitt on there, his fucking beat to shit, no-nose, Voldemort-looking face, if I see that face, it's over for me. I'm shimmying. I'm shimmying around. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going somewhere against the wall. I'm looking. That'll shake me up for days. I used to have to, when I was a kid, like, they would have a commercial for, like, his I don't know, greatest hits thing, when they used to have, like, those CD things. I'd be watching, like, Cartoon Network. They'd have that on there. Like, they're torturing these kids. I'd have to sleep with ESPN on literally until 6 a.m. I would ruin the next day of school for me just because I saw his face for, like, 5 seconds. And then, like, you go to grab oh, my God. This is the worst. You go to grab the remote to switch the channel. This isn't just Michael Jackson. This is like when you're a kid and you're watching TV, and this could even be ESPN, and they fuck you with the horror movie. I hate scary movies. They smoke you with the horror movie fucking preview on a commercial. If you don't recognize the first, like, note of the person's voice of that commercial, which you've already been scared by, if you don't notice it in the first second, so you can grab the remote and change it, not only are you fucked, but God forbid you reach for the remote and then the remote jumps out at you or whatever, like it jumps out of your hand and then the batteries, and now you're fucked. Now you gotta, I don't know what you do. I mean, back in the day when I was a child, like, God forbid that commercial comes on and the remote, you can't hit previous channel, and then the remote falls out of your hand and maybe the batteries fall out. You can't do anything. You're helpless. There's no other choice but to just get up, you sprint. As you're sprinting out of your room, you throw the lights on, and then you run up to your parents' room. That's all you can do, and you dive in between them. That's all you can do. At this stage of my life, what would I do? I don't sleep with the TV on anymore, but like I said, you get a Michael Jackson thumbnail in the YouTube video. You literally, this is what I do, because this just happened to me, actually. I'll tell you this quick story. I was downstairs in my basement playing my drums, and my drums, I have an electronic kit to play when you can't play it when it's loud, so I could practice at night. It's like 1 a.m. I'm, like, out of my mind. I'm, like, practicing. I'm, like, playing drums at, like, 1 a.m. And I'm, like, getting, like, drumless tracks off of YouTube so I could play along to the song. And it hits me with an ad that I had to watch that was, like, a horror movie, and I'm in a basement. So, like, my new reaction, I think, I just learned this about myself, is, like, I literally saw the video, and then, like, I didn't realize what it was in the first second, and then it showed some, like I don't even know, some evil nun or something. I literally just ripped the headphones off my head and just, like, I just started yelling, like, fuck this. And I didn't even run, but I was just like, yo, like, fuck this. And then just, like, walked upstairs and then just, like, sat in my bed and was just like, fuck, like, literally fuck this. And then I was just sitting in my bed, like, on my laptop. Like, I don't even know. I was just, like, fucking watching, like, YouTube, like, because I have ad block on my laptop. Oh, dude, scary shit. I can go on for days. But I'll leave it off with that. I think we've touched pretty much everything. This was I would call it a subpar episode so far. If I was going to rank the episodes that I've come out with, this wasn't the greatest one, but I don't want to beat myself up too much. Hopefully we'll have some good content in the coming days. We got a big Jets-Pats game, as I said. Listen, I'm wearing this. I mean, I hate Zach Wilson. I think he's trash, but maybe this is a little bit of good luck. Okay. I'm not really I mean, I am a Jets fan. I grew up as a Jets fan, but I mean, how can you blame me? Now I'm a little bit empathetic for people who are fans of sports teams that just are never good because I don't know how they're good, like they're fans. If the Yankees weren't good, like at all, ever, I don't know how I would have gotten hooked in, which maybe makes me a shallow person. But the Yankees, trust me, can go on a 12-year stretch of never making the playoffs. I will still be just as much of a diehard fan. But the Jets not being anything when I grew up, and I just never really got into them fully. The Mark Sanchez days I was into because it's fun. And now them having a little bit of life in them, including the Giants as well, it's very fun. So tomorrow they win. Not only are they in first place with that tiebreaker with the Dolphins, but they're pretty much a shoo-in for the playoffs, whether it's the division or the wild card. If they lose, they're not only in last place in the division, but that's a big emotion. It depends on the loss is, but you lose for like the 14th straight time to New England, and now you're in last place after you could have been in first place. That could fuck with your psyche as a young team, and all hell breaks loose. You never know. They can just completely spiral out of control. So we'll see, but I'll tell you one thing. I'll be enjoying that Wingstop. I might even try the sandwich. I'm hearing great things about the sandwich. So JohnnyCast signing out, and let's go Jets. Fuck it. Let's go Jets.